Okay guys, so I'm going to be talking about how to use the JSFL Flash plugin for the Doors game. And this is going to be the most mind-blowing thing about this entire project and the game, because this essentially makes it so that any animator without any coding knowledge, they could essentially make their entire level in Flash with all the characters and animations and import it directly into the game, and it'll all just magically work. This is gonna be like crazy, guys. Okay, stick with me with this video, because once you see the power of this Flash plugin, it's gonna blow your minds. All right, so let's get right into it. Okay, the first thing you need to do is just download the latest build of the game. Yours might be a different version. For this tutorial, it is 6.6. But yeah, you're just going to want to extract the zip folder, and then you'll see your usual game files, but then you'll also see an FLA file, and you'll also see a .jsfl, and it'll be called Convert to Love. And if you're just wondering what Love is the name of the game engine that we're using for this game. So right now, this only works with Macromedia Flash 8. Animate CC version is coming soon, but for now you have to use Flash 8. So you're going to press your Windows Start menu, or the Windows key on your keyboard. You're going to type run, and then you're going to press enter, and you'll see a window pop up. Type %appdata%. And then once you press enter, it'll bring you to this window. Now you're going to go back a step, and then you're going to press local, look for Macromedia. Just keep going until you see commands folder. And then here, you're going to want to copy paste the Convert to Love JSFL script right here. Now back to where we extracted the game, I'm going to open up the FLA file that's in there called Flash to Love template, and you'll see a few objects here with some names on it. I'm just going to go over the basic ones for this tutorial, but as you can see, there's going to be a lot of stuff that you can do within just an FLA file. You'll see all the objects are in an objects layer, which is a guide layer. So anything that's on a guide layer is going to be ignored during the conversion. If you want to use any of these, you're going to have to copy it and then make a new layer and then paste it. So if something is not working or not converting correctly, it's most likely because it's on a guide layer. Okay, so before we use any of these tools, let's just say we want to draw a character. Okay, so I'm just going to draw this really basic blob looking character with a face. Okay, so here's where the magic happens. So after you make your character, you're going to convert it to a graphic symbol, and the naming here is very important. Okay, so you're going to type SPR for sprite underscore. So whatever name you put here is going to be like a new sprite sheet for that character. So any other symbol with the same name of blob is going to be condensed into that sprite sheet. And then another underscore, and then here you can just name it anything that you want that'll make you keep track of your assets, okay? And let's just see what it does when I convert it to love. Now, this is very important. Make sure to save your Flash file before you convert every time, all right? So I'm going to go to commands and then press convert to love. And it's going to do a bunch of weird stuff, but just wait it out until everything kind of stops. Now let's run the Doors exe. Now, if it converted properly, you will see where your FLA was saved. There should be a file with the same name with a .lva file extension, and that means it successfully created the love file that you can import. Now, I'm going to go to the level editor, and I'm just going to create a new level, and all I have to do now is take that LVA file and just drag and drop on top of my stage, and you'll see that boom, my character has now been imported into this game with no coding, no need to generate sprites. Now you'll see that the movement point of where my character is kind of really offset, and I can just simply adjust that directly in my FLA. So if I press the magnifying glass icon up here, it will take me to where it imported the love file. So now all I need to do is go back to Flash, and let's look at the first main tool, which is the animation center object. So now I'm just going to grab this crosshair and I'm just going to move it to, let's say, the bottom of where my character is. So now make sure to save, export again to love, so it creates a new LVA file. If I go back to the folder of where my game asset is, the old LVA file, all I gotta do is drag and drop the new one over the old one, replace the file. And then if I go back to the game, just press the refresh button and it should be updated. And you'll see that it snaps right back and it is now properly in its right place because the animation center object is in the right spot now. So now I'm just going to make a very simple wall and place this character on the floor, and let's just test the level to see how it works. My drawing has now been successfully imported into the game. Okay, now going back to the Flash file, as long as anything is converted to a graphic and properly named, you can reuse this graphic to animate, skew, rotate, pretty much transform in any way that you want, and it will not generate any additional drawings on your sprite sheet. So you're going to be saving a ton of space and memory. So the main thing that you need to remember is any possible thing that you think can be reused and just animated by skewing and rotating, then you should convert that into a graphic and properly name it. Okay, so here's my finished animation. Now I'm going to make sure to save as always before converting. I'm going to convert to love. I'm going to replace the file like last time, and then I'm going to press the refresh button in the game. And would you look at that? We just imported a Flash animation directly into the video game. Okay, so now for the cool part. We're going to talk about the kill boxes, okay? Now, one of the kill boxes just changes the death animation. So the directional one, the stick figure will kind of bounce off of this source before dying, and then the insta kill box, he'll just die instantly. I'm going to choose the directional kill box. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it into a new layer, and then I'm just going to animate this kill box just like any other object. I'm essentially animating its attack now at this point, right in Flash. Isn't that crazy? So once I'm happy with that, I'm just going to save like always. I'm going to convert it to love, replace the LVA file, and I'm going to press the refresh button in the game once again. Just by using animation, just by moving that hitbox around, now I've essentially automatically coded this character's attack pattern. Do you see the potential? Okay, so now let's talk about animation names, okay? So you'll see that this says start, but you can actually change the name of this animation by going to your properties. I'm gonna name the first one idle, and I'm gonna make a keyframe here, and I'm gonna name this keyframe attack 1, okay? So you can actually organize your animations into different sets based on the name, okay? This is gonna be insane, all right? All right, so I'm gonna make another little attack animation here. I'm gonna draw in a new frame, and I wanna reuse this frame by just skewing it. I'm gonna convert it into a graphic, and I'm going to properly name this. So it's gonna be SPR for sprite underscore blob, because I want this drawing to be on the same sprite sheet. And then I'm just gonna name it, whatever. Now, as I'm speedrunning this animation, you'll notice that I'm actually copy pasting multiple of these death boxes to more finely shape the kill box with the character. But once I'm finished, I'm gonna save, I'm going to convert to love, and I'm gonna replace the LVA file, and then I'm going to refresh the game as always. Now, if I click on the layer of where my animation is, you'll see that it actually shows the different animation. And that's because we named them here in the Flash file. So later on, that's going to be really useful when using triggers and cutscenes and stuff. And here you have different options like playing the whole animation. You can just have it loop one of the animations. So yeah, you can see the potential that we're creating here. Okay, so here's a small time lapse of me making a kind of like a boss. So I wanted to make like a big stick figure boss that has like these gauntlet hands. Okay, so you might be wondering, like, what about things that I don't want to reuse and things I want to animate, frame by frame? And you can totally do that. So here I'm actually drawing the body frame by frame, but you'll notice that I actually convert the head to a graphic symbol and name that. And then also making the hands into graphic symbols because I know I'm going to reuse the hands and those don't need to be frame by frame. But just know that the more things that you convert into the graphic, the smaller the file is going to be and the more space that you're going to save. Okay, so the last thing that I want to talk about is the walls. This is really cool because it makes it possible to design entire levels within Flash. You'll see a bunch of different colored squares, and this basically just changes the sound of the footsteps whenever the stick figure is going to run on top of it. I'm going to copy this concrete block, and paste it on a new layer. And all I need to do is just transform it and then start designing a level. You'll see me putting down some wood blocks. I put down some water. Maybe there's going to be a pool of water here. So for these, you're just assigning the hitboxes. So it's not actually going to show up in the game. What you want to do is go on a new layer, and you'll want to kind of draw in, whatever you want these platforms to look like. So I'm making a very basic design here, but you can actually go crazy. I mean, you can even export this and then, touch it up in Photoshop and then re-import it. You want to keep the hitboxes on their own hitbox layer, and you want to leave them alone. You do not want to convert the hitboxes into graphics, all right? But for the layers that has my drawings, try to make the graphics into chunks, because then once you convert it to love, it will fit them more nicely into a sprite sheet. Okay, so now that I'm done, I'm going to convert this file into love, and then I'm going to drag and drop the map that I just made straight into the level editor, and boom, you'll see that the level is imported and everything should work. Like the hitboxes, you'll hear all the correct footsteps, and the water here is supposed to be animated, but I did kind of a bad job. But pretty crazy how simple and easy it is to just make levels now in this game. Okay, one last bonus thing for you guys. Yes, you can actually animate moving platforms directly into Flash. I'm going to drag in one of the metal boxes, and I'm going to copy paste it into a new layer because I want this to move. And I'm also going to make another new layer and then draw, just what I think a metal platform would look like. And I'm going to convert that into a named graphic as well. So I'm going to name this. And then I'm going to tween both the hitbox and the drawing together. So they are moving at the same speed. I can adjust all the curves and everything, and it should work. Right now I'm using an older build, so I actually have to convert the tween into a bunch of keyframes, but the build that you guys work on, the tweens should work, so you do not have to do what I do and convert everything into keyframes, all right? But here you'll see that I'm just gonna make it go up and down, really simple. And once I convert that into love and replace the file, you can see that, oh my gosh, it reads the tweens perfectly. No matter what easing that you put, doesn't matter, it works. And you can see the amount of creativity that is possible with this. And just the fact that any animator that knows how to use Flash can pretty much design a full-on game within an animation program, not a game engine. Okay, so I took some time and I made a level myself, pretty much using all the tools that I've showed you guys in this tutorial and the previous tutorial. And you can just see like how immersive that these levels can be, and just how much freedom I have to just make anything that I want. Even this boss is huge, but all of its limbs I converted to graphics. So all I'm doing in the actual FLA file to animate this boss is I'm just moving around the graphics and stretching them, transforming them, and it barely takes any space. So this fully animated boss right here barely takes any data. It's kilobytes of data, not using any huge sprite sheets. It's all coded movement. It's not sprite sheeted movement, if that makes sense. So try to use graphics as much as you can when you're animating your characters, and just have fun with it, guys. Just have fun. Like I had a lot of fun making this level. I can't wait to start using the tools within the level editor at like triggers, and also introduce you to some of the other tools in the Flash template. Camera movement, camera shaking, sound effects, all that stuff is also possible within the FLA file. All right, so yeah, just I urge you guys to play around for now and see what you guys can come up with. It'll be awesome to get more levels from you guys, so we can further push development of this game, which I think is going to be mind-blowing to everyone.